Okay, so we are now live, and we should be starting with our meeting right now. Yeah, so members, today we are going to be looking at how to connect with the WordPress community using an app known as Slack. I don't know how many of the members here have ever used Slack. I'm using a phone here, so we are going to be looking at a few things. So we are having this meetup, which I shared here on the link on the on the meetup page. So we are talking Slack and WordPress. Yeah, so I don't know of the members on the call, how many have ever used the Slack? Slack is, let me first find out how many of the members have ever used the Slack. Let me first find out. Let me first stop sharing there. Mr. Suleiman, have you ever used the Slack?
Yes, I did.
Hey, for how long? When did you start using it?
I started using it this year, the group Data Science in Africa. So that group, they use Slack. Okay. So yes.
Okay, there are some groups actually which use Slack instead of email, and they compare it to email, saying that there are some advantages Slack has over using email. I'm also actually working with some organization known as Infonile. It is a media company, but they use Slack, and they added me to their channels and workflows. So Slack has a number of things that we need to learn about, and we're also going to look at how WordPress uses Slack in coordinating their community. Mr. Muhammad, have you ever used Slack?
Yes, sorry, I was trying to mobilize some people on these different groups. Yes, I've used Slack before, and as the previous speaker said, some organizations tend to use it. Like Andela, for example, they've been using Slack for a long time, until just this year when they developed their own platform to replace Slack.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so Mr. Steven, have you ever used Slack? Mr. Steven Dumba, Mr. Ogisha Dennis, have you ever used Slack?
Personally, as Kruger, I've not used Slack. I think it's why I've come to help share knowledge with you.
Okay, thank you. What about Steven? Okay, let us try to dive into Slack. Yeah, so we are going to be looking. I'm going to be sharing here, and I'm going to be sharing with some experience about the first time I was using Slack. Yeah, so we are having here. I wrote that the WordPress project uses Slack as its main real-time communication platform, replacing previous communication channels such as IRC. And there's the first link here, which I first put here. Members, you can confirm, are you seeing my screen?
Yes, we are seeing it.
Okay. So WordPress Ginger Meetup, this particular meetup, when I was applying for this meetup to be created, I had to connect via Slack. And I wrote about it in this article, which I wrote about starting. So I wrote here, and I said that to start an official WordPress chapter, first of all, you need what we call a WordPress.org profile. WordPress.org profile, you create it on the WordPress.org website. Then there is something here, Slack account. One of the things also that you need is you need to open what you call a Slack account. And so I opened this Slack account. And when I applied, I connected with the WordPress community. There is a photo here. I hope you can be able to see it. I connected with this guy. This guy is called Aditya. And this guy, I was chatting with him through Slack. Slack has a channel known as Making WordPress. Yeah, so I connected with him. He asked me many questions there. The orientation interview was on Slack. On Slack, there is a lot, all the community deputies and all other teams, they use Slack. You can connect even with the founders of WordPress through Slack. And yeah, I had my interview with them, and then they even sent me something from US, and then I connected to them. Let me first open Slack. You can download the app called Slack. Slack. I have the app here. Where is it? It is somewhere here. Okay, so this is the Slack. So we are having a number of communities. For me, I'm in several groups here. I'm in several groups. I'm in Making WordPress, the WordPress Africa. So this Making WordPress is the one which, when you join it, you'll find these are known as channels. So there is the community events, community team, core, and all this. So if I click on community team, Mr. Ogisha, are you still seeing my screen?
Yes, please. I'm seeing.
Okay,
I'm seeing it.
I'm in on the Slack app on the community team. I've not yet showed you how to join there, but I'm first showing you what is there. Then I will be talking about you getting there. So here, everything that happens in the community team, WordPress, WordCamp applications, everything that happens on WordPress, so what is happening, you get to know when you are in this community team. There's a lot of messages which keep coming. And for me, particularly, I've been sharing. If I try to, let me see if I can try to show you some of the things which I was talking about earlier on this particular Slack. So I have the community team. There is a hosting community. There's community events. There's a lot here on Slack that you can be able to find. Yeah. So this is my account, and then that guy whom I was telling you about is here. Is called the Aditya Ken. Is the one whom I was chatting with. And I was telling him, he was chatting with me and when I was trying to tell him about WordPress Ginger, and I was trying to connect with him here. So the organizers of WordPress events and meetups, they connect here if there is any issue. Like for example, recently we had a meetup in Ginger, and I wanted to, let me try to search here. Let me try to search something here. So I wanted to have a meetup because they had. So, okay. So I think this, Mr. Ogisha.
Yes, please.
I think my message. You first read for me this message here.
Mukarere Rogers, it has been a while. Happy New Year, community team. Rogers Mukarere here, co-organizer WordPress Ginger Meetup. Over the past year, we've been holding virtual meetups due to COVID-19 restrictions. We have been sharing some of the Zoom session recording via our community YouTube channel. We hope to resume. Yeah, we hope to resume physical events soon now.
Okay. So now I was sending them a message here about this. I wanted to get their support on getting this working, because by that time we wanted to get we wanted to resume. And when I asked that, they gave me a go ahead. I don't know. I would try to show you some of the things that they were telling me. You see, I think this one I sent some message and then they said, okay, I've changed the status for you. So I'm in touch with these people here at WordPress. Even if I'm to organize, if we are to organize, for example, a WordCamp, you send a request, and then your request will come through Slack, and these people will be able to look at your application, and then they will choose whether to approve it or not. So you interact with the community deputies, the community team through Slack. There are many channels. There are these developers of core. If you want to connect with, like for example, Mr. Sulaiman. Mr. Sulaiman, are you hearing
Yes,
me?
Mr. Rogers. Yes, I can hear you.
You are in the core channel of WordPress. You joined it. I don't know when you joined it. And
Yes.
here, if you want to interact with the guys who are coding, and they are doing, if you are a developer, you can be able to interact with them here. They open bugs. They do a lot of, they do the support. There is the training. If you want training materials, these are the trainers. So they share through this. So this is making WordPress is a big channel. It has a lot of channels there. And then also there is this one of WP Africa. It is a new channel that also has been created. And you can be able to come in here, and you can be able to share. You can be able to share. You can introduce yourself. For example, here, if you go to introduce yourself, you'll see different people from different parts of Africa connecting. Andrew from South Africa there. You'll see different from Nigeria. So these ones are people from different parts of the world also connecting. Lawrence also created one for us, which is for Kampala, WordPress Kampala. We also have a channel which can be able to connect us in Uganda. This is the other one of Infonile, which I was telling you, which is the workspace for with the people there I'm working with. I'm not going to open the messages there. Yeah, but we do a lot of workflows there. Now, let me first go back to this website here. So I've given you background that WordPress uses Slack as its main real time, and you can use it to connect with people in all parts of the world. If you want to mobilize funding for maybe WordPress events in Ginger, Iganga, or whatever, I want to organize workshops, or any organizer, not necessarily me, even you can be able to, you can reach out, and this can be able to support you, and also if that is community and training. If you are in core, you can join people who are in coding. There's a lot of things that you can do. So there is this next link here, which is make.wordpress.org/community. So if you go to this website, Make WordPress Communities, they will tell you that they have office hours, and they have the community events channel on Slack every Monday. So they use Slack. They have the community team on Slack. So they meet, and then they share what is happening. So anything that is happening, these proposals, whatever, the discussions take place on Slack. Okay, then we have, how do you get in? How do you get into this program? So there's this next link here, which is make.wordpress.org/chat. So what you will do, let me open it. This one has the guidelines. It says the WordPress project uses Slack as its main real-time communication platform, replacing previous communication platforms such as IRC. And when they were compiling a list of things people liked about previous communication methods, it was obvious that Slack was all that they need, what they needed. One, it is open for everyone. Then 2, it has a friendly user interface. Then 3, it is a synchronous conversation. It has iOS and Android apps, powerful customization capabilities, and excellent search. So if you compare this to, for example, if you look at, for example, email, if you're using email, you may have an email thread. Can you imagine having an email thread with 1,000 people, what it can happen? It becomes very hard because everyone is replying, and these email threads will, but if it is Slack, they will just create a channel on something, and then people can be able to communicate through that particular platform. Yeah, for example, let me go to back to this one of WordPress Kampala. So I opened a channel here on Meetups. This particular channel, I opened it on I opened, I think it was there earlier. Yeah, so I can say hello team. So I can say hello team. Now, if I say there are some nomenclature, for example, if I say hello channel, if I say hello channel, this one will notify everyone. Yeah, so hello team, there are some things that you learn and when you're using. Let's share. So I can say maybe I'll be sharing information on. So I can say maybe we will be sharing information on meetups through this channel. So just like it is on Twitter, you can tag someone, and that person will get a notification, and you will come here and you reply. You can attach images, these icons and all those things. They will do it the other side. Yeah, so that is the one thing. So if you compare with, for example, WhatsApp, people have to have phone numbers and all that, but here it is open. Anyone can easily join a particular channel of interest, and but of course you can change settings. You can have private channels, you can have public channels, and all that. So WordPress uses Slack as its main platform. So if you need help, so you should be able to get. There's also the support forums, but here you come here if you want to participate. So how do you participate? One, you have to log into WordPress.org first in order to join, and you have to first log into WordPress.org. So after logging in, it will change here. So they will give you a WordPress email. So let me click here. So you click on WordPress.org, and you should be able to log in to WordPress.org from here in order to. So if you don't have a WordPress.org profile, you first create an account. Maybe what I want to do, Mr. Ogisha.
Yes, please.
I don't know whether you can be able to share your screen or anyone. For me, I already have this, it doesn't take long. Someone can just be in there. So what you have to do is you have to log in to WordPress.org, and then from there, you can be able to get a Slack. There's something known as a Slack, an email, WordPress email. Yeah, so you go to WordPress.org and then you go back to the other link and they will be able to give you that email. So let me try to see here. I didn't want to log in when people are seeing my password, so I'm trying to log in here. I'm trying to log in here so that members can be able to. Okay, so good. So I have, let me share again my screen. So on that web page, on the meetup page, which I've shared. So once I clicked on login, it brought me back here. So after logging in, it has brought this. Mr. Ogisha.
Yes, please.
Are you able to see that email of mine?
Yes, I'm seeing M. Rogers for Christ at chat.
Okay, so this page is the magic page, make.wordpress.org/chat. So when you reach here, it will first tell you that you have to log in. So it will not put there your email on this page, but that email will appear. That email will appear after you have logged in to the email. So you see, it's saying you have already been invited to WordPress. So the first time, if you open this page, it was showing something else. It was showing that you first have to log into WordPress.org. So once I logged in, if you have not yet been invited, then it will send you an invitation and you accept it and it will give you an email. Now this email, whenever anyone sends an email to this, it automatically goes to your other normal email, the other Gmail of yours. So now this email is one that you are going to use to log in into Slack. So the next you will now open this wordpress.slack.com. wordpress.slack.com, and then you can come here and you put there the email address, that email address, and then you put there also the password. The password that you set when you the first time when you log into WordPress.org, they will send you an email for you to confirm this email here, and you set a password. So let me put in my password here, and then I'll be able to continue. Yeah. So okay. So I'm trying to sign in here. Okay. So there are a lot of resources that I've shared on that page. Let me first go back here. There are a lot of resources that I've shared on that page. So members, this app is not just an app maybe for connecting with WordPress. There are other things that we need to learn about Slack. Yeah, so after you have gone to this page here, that's where you'll set up. Then you go to wordpress.slack.com, or you open the Slack app. So in this case, I have the Slack app. So you may not, if you're using mobile, you may just install the Slack app, and you log into the Slack app using the email. So you can, I have some email. These other workspaces are using my normal email, then this one of Making WordPress, and the one of WordPress Kampala and WordPress Africa. These ones are using the other WordPress email, and I can be able to get what I want, and I get in touch, and I see what is happening. Now, there is another link here that I also shared here. This link was talking about how to join the WordPress community on Slack. This was posted by WordCamp US 2019, and they have also explained the entire process. What is Slack? The tool used by the WordPress community. So they're talking about the web app, and the guidelines are there. You go to this website, make.wordpress.org, and then the instructions are there. If you don't have a profile, you have to create one. Then after that, you go to this one of chat, and then after you have logged in, you receive an email, and then you join now, and then you'll be inside. Then you can search for a channel. For example, they are saying, for them, they had a channel for WordCamp US. And when you search for that channel, you should be able to get into there. Some of you members have used the Telegram. Telegram also allows people to search and join groups. So Slack has something similar. You can be able to search for a particular channel, and then you join it and you participate in what is happening in that channel. So for us as the users of WordPress, we need to learn how to use Slack because it is used. Now there is an article here talking about 5 must-join Slack workspaces for WordPress pros and developers. What are those main workspaces? So there are some workspaces that they talk about here. There's a WordPress Slack. So there is a WordPress governance project, developers club. So there are some Slack channels. There is a Slack channel for WooCommerce. So you can be able to get to know what is happening in the various circles and connect with the community on Slack. We also need to join this one of WP Africa. WP Africa, they have made a site. Our community is open to all who use WordPress. And there's one lady who inspires me a lot from Nigeria called the Mary Job. She came here to Kampala for one of the meetups. So they are saying that they are preparing for WordCamp, and WordPress Africa Slack is what they will be using. And they talk about here, and so these people, if they are to chat, they don't use WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever, but they have a Slack channel where they communicate. So they're saying we're on Slack. The main communication medium for our members is Slack. So Slack, WordPress, and Slack are friends. Yeah, so if we are as a community and we want to connect with the community, or maybe, whatever, we should be able to be on Slack. So I put also another link here talking about Slack, and there is a video. There's a YouTube video here which talks about Slack in general. This video is by this guy called Kevin Stratvat. Is one of my best people who make tutorials on the internet. So he talked about Slack, and he talked about he compared it with email, how you can be able to do the Slack channel and everything that you may need, and all those tricks of using Slack, the hashtags, those tagging, the do's and don'ts of using Slack. So they're in this video by Kevin Stratvat. So this video is very good. There are also other videos on YouTube on using Slack that you can be able to use. So this guy here was talking about Slack, and he has a complete tutorial. Because of time, I'm not going to play this, but I'm going to share this in the WhatsApp group afterwards. So he compared and he gave the history. He said this company of Slack, this guy here who started Slack, they were creating a game and they wanted something that they would use to communicate and connect with other developers. And at the end of the apps which were available, even email, they didn't see help to them. So they created the Slack as a way of getting them and their workflows connected. But at the end of the day, the game they made never even made a lot of progress. It never it never passed. But the Slack channel which they created, the Slack which they were using, which as just a communication tool for making the game, instead became more successful than the app that they used. So Kevin Stratvat there gave a very good history of Slack and where it has come. Now, as WordPress, one of the things that I've seen in Slack also is what we call bots. Slack can be integrated with even our website, such that whenever you post an article on the website, it automatically goes to Slack and it posts it in one of the channels, just like Telegram also does. So there's an article by WP Beginner on how to integrate Slack with WordPress. It's a beginner's guide. You can integrate. There's also a plugin for Slack. So you can be able to have something like this, whereby you post something on the website and then Slack goes automatically and it posts it. So you can connect Slack and your WordPress site using some plugin here called Unique Animator plugin. So you can install that and you connect your Slack settings. You put in your Slack settings, you create a bot, and then it can be able to be connecting your site to the Slack channels that you have created. For example, for us, we had wanted to create a Slack channel for ICT Teachers Association of Uganda. So the moment you post an article on the ICT Teachers Association of Uganda, this integration will go into Slack and post for you that particular link. You don't need to go into, just like we normally do on WhatsApp. You post an article and then you go to WhatsApp and you post there. This one would be able, you can integrate Slack with the WordPress using this particular guide. Yeah, so members, basically what I do these days, these meetups, I don't really stress a lot that I make a slides or what. No, I just get resourceful links, then I just talk through them, and then I share. If someone really is interested, he can be able to join and he can be able to do something. So there is also another guide here which I also added on regarding Slack and how we can use it for connecting not only with WordPress, but it's something that we can consider. Actually, if you search on Google and it says Slack, they compare it with email as the alternative, not even with these other apps. So Slack, they compare email versus Slack. When they are comparing, Slack wants to replace email. Is that what they want? So there's an article which was written on the New York Times there, Slack versus email. So when they are comparing, they look at Slack as an alternative to email. Even actually, when we were working with this organization, Infonile, we were using emails and email threads, but they said, no, let us shift to Slack. So they just ping me anytime. I just a notification, I go in there and I do, and I can still communicate, and we have different channels in that company. So it helps us to communicate. So why email is not optimal for internal communications, overflowing inboxes, mixed internal, external messages, but Slack comes in to save the day. So it is one of the things Slack has, Slack versus email, Slack benefits. So you can be able to synchronize here. So there's if you are to search anything about Slack, they look at it alternative to email, and the organizations which have shifted, just like someone was telling us about Andela and other organizations that have been using Slack to make their work simplified. Okay, so members, I hope I wanted this meetup to be practical, like I get members to install this. I get members to install this, but I think members, let us try to this. Install the app, then go to that link and follow the links which I have shared on the meetup link for this particular meetup, and you should be able to dive in. I want to see you. Let me show you here. I want to see you in the WordPress Kampala and WordPress Africa channels. And when you reach there, you introduce yourself. So there's a part here for introducing yourself. For me, I already introduced myself here. Today, I was trying to introduce myself for the second time. These are things which are going to make us get friends. You go out, you go to Nigeria when people know you. For me, if I reach now, Nigeria, I can be able to call someone and I say, hey, my friend, I'm a colleague from Uganda, I'm in the Slack channel. And the person can guide me. You see, I sent this message in February this year about the community here. So let us get to know Slack. As people who are in technology, we need to know all these apps, and we need to know which app is best used for what. And this can help us in everything we are doing. So members, if there is anyone who has to supplement about Slack, this is your time. Mr. Dumba, Mr. Dumba, are you hearing me? Okay, Mr. Muhammad Katirega.
Yes, thank you.
Has my network today been breaking or?
Today it has been a bit stable.
Okay, so it's your time to supplement about Slack, if there is something that you want to communicate about it.
Okay. I also believe in practical things. Let me just share my screen as well. Actually. Okay. Yeah, so this is my Slack on this phone, and as you can see, there are different workspaces here. Yeah, there's Data Science East Africa, there's Kubernetes, there's Omdena here, which has it is a global network, but you can have channels for each country. Like, for example, this one is for Uganda, and yeah, the beauty of Slack is that it's very easy to organize something, let's say a project, which is global, and separate it into different, let's say, chapters which are national. Like now, though, we have WordPress meetups which are global. We can have one for Uganda. I'm yet to join it, but there was, I think, I had joined something similar to WordPress workspace here, because I have another Slack account where I had joined WordPress before, but this is another email address which I'm using on this app. So there's also Slack for desktop. You see, you can download it, and you can be able to use your Slack on almost any device. You can use it on mobile, whether it is Android, iOS. You can use it on a tablet. You can access your Slack using a web portal, or you can download the Slack for desktop application also. So it is a very good integrated kind of system, and it's very efficient. You can easily keep up to date with everyone. Yeah, that is my simple addition, and it has so many features. You can have direct messages, you can have mentions, the way we have on Twitter. You can search for people, you can search for topics, you can search for attachments in case someone has shared a document which needs to be worked upon. You can do a lot. You can do a lot. I cannot fully exhaust all the things, but I would really recommend everyone to at least create a Slack account and join the WordPress meetups. I'm also going to join just now here. So yeah, I look forward to seeing all of you there.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Katelega. Okay, let me hear from Mr. Sulaiman. How have you been using Slack?
Yeah, basically, as I told you, beginning of this year, there was a boot camp on data science. So that's how we're able to be sharing information, update on the online bootcamp. And that's how I come to at least be familiar somehow with Slack, but I have not been so active after that bootcamp. But now I'll make sure that I join the meetup and the various channels. Yes, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Ogisha, have you been inspired to join Slack?
Absolutely. Actually, following closely your presentation and supplements have really pushed me very further. I hope that immediately this call ends, I'll be implementing the various things I've been noting down. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Okay, let me hear from Mr. Joseph Opio. Mr. Joseph, you are a tech guy. Have you by any chance used the Slack? Okay, it seems Mr. Opio is not very active at this time. Finally, Mr. Dumba, have you picked something from this? Okay, Mr. Dumba, Mr. Pio, you are unable to unmute. Yeah, members, I think we are not going to, I'm actually by the roadside right now. We are not going to, to continue more. I want to just wrap up with this particular meetup by thanking you members for coming. Thank you very much. We want to be meeting every Sunday. Today, it got me somewhere. Actually, I was on the road. That's why even I delayed to start the meeting at 5, but I want to thank you members for joining in. We are going to share this video to the groups so that other members who have missed can be able to get something. Okay, so at this time, I want to end here and I want to wish you a nice evening.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.